the four C's if Rahul Gandhi is contemplated to be arrested. Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Vande Mataram. As I said in the previous video shared with you in the morning, I have no idea if Rahul Gandhi is indeed billed or contemplated to be arrested. It's foolish to speculate on likely actions on the basis of scratchy evidence. So I leave it hanging in the air. But it is certainly legitimate to examine what the public perception will be in case such a radical step is contemplated and in fact implemented. And the contents of this video could be as useful if taken in the right spirit to the Modi camp as it would be to anybody else. Therefore, I offer it as a set of dispassionate observations from the perspective of an ordinary citizen who, being somewhat advanced in age, is in a position to stand on the sidelines and reflect without partisan involvement and a fair degree of objectivity on whatever happens. Let me proceed straight to the four C's that need to be minded in this context. Before I do that, one or two sentences about why I say this. It is a truism to say that in politics, perceptions are all important. So if a drastic step like arresting somebody is undertaken, it is sensible to sit down and weigh the pros and cons in terms of the public perceptions. After all, pros and cons are decided on the basis of public perceptions. Therefore, if arresting Rahul Gandhi and putting him out of action for a period of time, we do not know what period of time is contemplated. If that is to prove beneficial, or if that is not to prove counterproductive, then it is very important to count on the prospect of creating the image of Rahul Gandhi as a corrupt person. Because the society will accept action against the corrupt. And no sane society will accept action against, especially action as serious as arrest and incarceration, against a person who is widely perceived to be honest, upright, bold, courageous, etc. So public perceptions are very crucial in this matter. And I'm going to mention four C's, A, B, C. That C, capital C, yes, four C's that are going to determine public perceptions in relation to Rahul Gandhi's interrogation and arrest, if indeed that is what is contemplated. We have no idea as yet. There is no confirmation from the government side. These are all speculations in the media. And by now, all of us know that media revelations must be taken with a very large pinch of salt. The credibility of the mainstream media being as poor as it has become, and they have only themselves to thank for it. What are these four C's? The first C is courage. A corrupt person will be necessarily a coward. The last thing you can associate with a corrupt person is courage. But Rahul Gandhi today has become, whether you like it or not, a public or national icon of fearlessness or courage. And he clearly, indisputably is the one who's standing up against this ambience of fear, about which he speaks so explicitly and powerfully. So, even a school child has the common sense to know that a corrupt person will be a coward, and therefore, by implication, a courageous person, one who is brave, one who is committed to truth, justice, integrity in public life, unmindful of consequences, which is true moral heroism. I repeat the words, moral or ethical heroism, cannot be a corrupt person. Ask even a kindergarten child, you will get the same answer. So, those who create this kind of plans against Rahul Gandhi, I believe, will have a hard time convincing the people of India that he is corrupt and therefore he merits this kind of action. And I mention this so that those who are contemplating this step against Rahul can put their acts together and plug all the loopholes. Let them put together all the material that they can have to prove that Rahul Gandhi is a coward and that the posture of fearlessness that he posits and presents to the people of India is fake. That's something that they need to do. But in doing this, they need to carry conviction. So the first thing that needs to be taken into account is Rahul Gandhi's courage. A corrupt person cannot be courageous. A corrupt person is apt to be a coward. And Rahul Gandhi, by available evidence till this moment, is anything but a coward, and he has shown exemplary courage and freedom from fear. The second C that I want to mention here is compassion, which is equally powerful as far as people's perceptions are concerned. I'm looking at all of this only through the lens of popular perceptions. Now, who does not know that a corrupt person cannot be compassionate, because corruption makes you stone-hearted, hard-hearted. The corrupt have the wellsprings of human compassion dry up within themselves. They cannot feel for others. If a person can feel for others, he'll never be corrupt. So, the fact that Rahul Gandhi is very sincere, absolutely a matter of proven, unalloyed sincerity, especially sincere in his compassion to the poor, the suffering, the marginalized, those who feel helpless. That's a clinching evidence in popular perception of the integrity of a human being. Not only that, it's also a signpost to his stature of spirituality. Only a highly evolved person can be as compassionate and untiring as Rahul Gandhi has so far been in his solidarity with the poor, the suffering, the marginalized, and the exploited. So far I have shared 2 C's with you: courage, compassion. Now let's proceed to the third C, which is consistency. A corrupt person can never be consistent. If you want to find out whether a political leader who claims to be very honest, upright, etc., is indeed free from corruption or indeed committed to honesty, integrity in public life, all you have to do is to see whether or not he is consistent over a period of time. Take any political leader. Study his public statements and his posturing in a period of 10 years. And if there are contradictions, rest assured that person is potentially corrupt, if not actually corrupt. And if he is not corrupt already, it's because he did not have the opportunity to practice corruption. Or the case is that he is already corrupt, but he is clever enough to hide his trails of corruption, and therefore he appears to be honest, whereas he is neck deep in corruption. So, a corrupt person cannot be consistent. Now, take Rahul Gandhi. Something that the whole country has noted is his refusal to attend the Ambani wedding. because he wants to be consistent. He has been criticizing crony capitalism, mentioning the Adanis and Ambanis by their names. How can a person, having done so, then go and attend a lavish wedding at which reportedly, one does not know, 5,000 crores is splashed? So it's a matter of his commendable consistency, the harmony between his ideals and his actions, what he says and what he does, that he was not found, and he was the only political leader of any substance who was found missing from the Jing Bang lot. So that's consistency, and this has had a huge impact in the minds and sentiments of the people. This has influenced public perceptions to an extraordinary, astonishing extent, and it would be foolish not to factor this into the calculations that must be undertaken in this regard. Now we have examined 3 C's: courage, compassion, consistency. Now let's proceed to the 3rd C, which is absence of craving for power. Now a corrupt person will always crave for power. A corrupt person will feel destroyed if he is separated from the lifeline of power. And this is not what I am saying, this is what Plato says in his classic work, Republic, where he says that if a person shows excessive attachment to an office, or if a person shows extraordinary eagerness to occupy a chair of power, rest assured that person has no good intentions. He is wicked in his intention, he is corrupt. And that's the authority I am banking on. Now all of us know that Rahul Gandhi has been ridiculed for his lack of interest in politics. He is a part-time politician, he is a journeyman politician. He is reluctant to accept positions of power and responsibility. He doesn't want, if Rahul Gandhi had wanted to be the Prime Minister of this country, he would have been the Prime Minister of India in 2004, in 2009. He didn't even want to be the leader of the opposition. So a person who is not at all craving for power can never be corrupt, because, mind you, the only attraction of power, the attractiveness of power, is the opportunities it affords to practice corruption. Power equals profit. The equation is as simple as that. So if you come across somebody who is not interested in a kursi, in a seat of power, rest assured that man is reliable, and contrary-wise as well. So the people of India have already examined Rahul Gandhi in terms of the 4 C's I have already mentioned. Let me quickly recapitulate: courage, compassion, consistency, and no craving for power. And furthermore, how can you accuse Rahul Gandhi, or how can you convince the people of India that he is indeed corrupt? Because he has never been in office. It's only when you occupy a position of power that you can practice corruption. Therefore, the only way Rahul Gandhi can be painted with the black brush and paint of corruption is in the indirect manner via this kind of Deccan Herald and this, that and the other, some kind of signature, some paperwork. Has a single rupee changed hands? No. Investigations has gone on for now how many years? Rahul Gandhi was interrogated for more than 40 hours 2 years ago, and the same ED could not establish any money trail, any instance of malpractice, any proof of money laundering, so on and so forth. What do they hope to find out now through this, if at all it is being contemplated, the second wave of interaction? What additional truths do they hope to extract, like a dentist extracting an impacted molar? This is something that the people of India will be curious to know. So it's not at all easy to convince the people of India that Rahul Gandhi is corrupt. Public perceptions would be overwhelming in his favor. This much I can predict. I don't know whether that will have any visible form of public expression, but in their hearts of hearts, an overwhelming majority of people will feel that Rahul Gandhi is being targeted for the bold and courageous stand that he alone takes. And that is again something that the antagonists of Rahul Gandhi need to take very seriously. Now, what could be the outcome? Suppose drastic action is contemplated against Rahul Gandhi. Suppose it is implemented. What is the outcome? About that, I can certainly speak with some degree of confidence and assurance. And believe you me, you can trust me for it. The outcome of this will be that through this action, I would say this ill-advised, assuredly counterproductive action, his antagonist will only deepen the bond of sympathy between Rahul Gandhi and the people of India. Let me explain why I say this. If Rahul Gandhi is arrested, interrogated, fine. If he is arrested and imprisoned, the people, the public of India today, the majority of the public in India, who are far more aware of things than they were 5 years ago, they will see Rahul Gandhi only as a victim. They will see Rahul Gandhi as a foremost victim of a political scheme of things. And how does that become explosive? How does that become costly? It is because by now, millions and millions and millions of people in this country have already started feeling that they are victims of the scheme of things that is in force today. And it's not a matter of majority versus minority. After all, the majority of people against whom drastic action has already been initiated are all members of the majority community. People like Soren, Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia, etc., the 120 people of various categories, they are not members of the minority community. And none of the opposition parties is a minority community party. Rahul Gandhi is not a member of the minority community, though attempt has been and still is being made to caricature him as a Christian. Though he claims that he is a Brahmin, which is then disputed, he is asked to prove his jati, which is based on the theory that if your mother is not an Indian by birth, then she is an outcast. And therefore, even if your father is a Brahmin, to the extent that you were conceived in the womb of an outcast, you cannot be Brahmin. This is the kind of logic. I have nothing to say on these matters. It's up to the people who endorse these theories. These theories don't mean much to me, so I don't want to comment on it. It's not my domain. It's not my calling. Therefore, I avoid it. But this much is absolutely certain, that all those people in India, and their tribe is increasing, swelling, who feel they are victims of the present system. And as more and more instances like electoral bonds, Hindenburg report, and legislations that are meant to handicap certain sections of the people, political strategies to pit one against the other, the politics of divide and rule, all kinds of kind of mixture, a tremendous welter of negative strategies. All that has succeeded very eminently in the last 4 or 5 years in particular to create a vast number of people who feel victimized. I venture the thought at the moment that perhaps a majority of the people in India today feel victimized or done in, as it were, to use the typical British expression. What will happen? If Rahul Gandhi now begins to be perceived as a victim of the system, all those people will attach their heart and their soul to Rahul Gandhi. And BJP will help Rahul Gandhi tremendously in forging this very deep sense of bonding and solidarity with the majority of the people of India, which will be terrible in its consequence for the BJP electorally. It will not be a long way to see the magnitude of the truth that I have stated now. Just wait and see the elections, assembly elections, to be organized very soon to 3 state assemblies. Leave alone the Lok Sabha elections to happen in 2029. You don't have to wait that long. I have no hesitation in saying that electorally, as well as prospectively or futuristically, it will be a highly ill-advised, I would say suicidal step if Rahul Gandhi is indeed arrested. As I said in the previous video, on the balance, my hunch is that the ED will desist from arresting Rahul Gandhi. I think for the time being, the main aim in this exercise will be limited, if at all the exercise is proceeded with, about which even at this point in time there is no absolute guarantee, but there is a strong speculation. The only gain or the limited purpose in resorting to an action like this, and that's where it can help, is to divert or deflect attention from the Hindenburg scandal or Hindenburg identified or alleged scandal, so that the focus of the people would be focused on Rahul Gandhi and his plight, which is quite likely because of the extensive, widespread, nationally widespread sympathy or sense of identification or popularity, call what you will, that Rahul Gandhi has already garnered. In that sense, it could be profitable, but that's a very fleeting achievement. But once that period is over, again it begins to be counterproductive. Rahul Gandhi will emerge from that process as a hero. So he is being turned into a national hero. Now, one further note of caution, and I will stop. Suppose Rahul Gandhi is now subjected to another series of prolonged interrogation, say another 40 hours of interrogation, at the end of which ED remains empty-handed. There is nothing to show for it. We have not been able to establish any actionable ground of malfeasance on the part of this leader. What happens? All this exercise will put the further stamp of authority on Rahul Gandhi's integrity, incorruptibility, his dignity, his stature. This will become a public demonstration, unhinted, unwitting public demonstration of the sterling qualities of Rahul Gandhi. So, the action will have exactly the opposite effect. So, people concerned will move into a catch-22 situation. Interrogate him, and after interrogating him, if you don't arrest him, then you have proved to the whole country, if not to the whole world, that here is a man of unimpeachable integrity. That we have tried our level best to extract some damning, incriminating evidence against him. We have examined it under the microscope, under the telescope, under the horoscope. We can't find a thing. What is the outcome? Okay, then you proceed. So, then in order to avoid this embarrassment, you proceed to arrest him. Then what happens? What I have already explained, indicated, will kick into action. Either way, you are in a catch-22 situation. This is a bus ride to nowhere. If at all, this is a bus ride to self-defeats. It's a self-goal. It's bound to be a self-goal. I repeat, it's bound to be a self-goal. If not today, tomorrow. For the time being, it may look a smart move. But I have no doubt at all that it will be a self-goal, and therefore I hope and pray that wisdom prevails and that our country, the public at large, at this time of real hardships for the people, is spared avoidable turbulence, confusion, tension, bitterness, hatred, hostility, negativity, so on and so forth. There is no gain in this. This is a no-win situation. And if there is any sense of maturity and concern for the country and the welfare of the people, such an action will not be proceeded with. Therefore, I want to end by stating my optimism that all that's now making its rounds in the media circles and being dished out to the people of India is baseless, and that sense will prevail, and that greater understanding, goodwill and collaboration between the treasury benches and the opposition parties, the India Alliance, will come into being, and some form of bipartisan commitment to promoting national interests will be obtained. With that, the political culture of India will reach a higher level of democratic maturity. That's my ardent wish. That's my prayer, if you like. Sabko Sanmati de Bhagavan. Sabko Sanmati de Bhagavan.